Just imagine for 1 second. Imagine, let's say, your favorite athlete or something like that. And then all of a sudden, they seem like one of your good friends. That's
Yeah.
what happened. Alexia, are we ready to go? It looks like you're about to sneeze. Are we ready to go?
Are you
We.
doing this live?
This is live. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Foster from Inglês no Cru. This episode of Inglês no Cru Rádio is brought to you by our friends at Cambly. Alexia is playing with everything in our makeshift podcast studio. So, Cambly is the coolest. It is an online platform where you can talk to real, native, professional teachers whenever, wherever you want. So, imagine that. How cool that is. How cool is that, Alexia?
Amazing.
It's super cool. If you have 15 minutes on your way to work, you can have an English class. If you have, Alexia, stop playing with stuff in the studio, please. Thank you. Meu amor. If you have, 30 minutes after work and you want to do an English class, boom, Cambly. It is really an innovative and incredible service. And on top of that, they are just great people. We know the people at Cambly. They will treat you well. It's a great deal. And to make it even sweeter, you can get your first class for free. Just go to cambly.com and use the promotional code or the referral code, however you want to call it, English no Cru Podcast. So go to cambly.com or download the app on your phone and use the code Inglês no Cru Podcast to get your first class for free. Whew. That was not a good ad. Let's get on with the show.
Hi, Foster.
Hey, Alexia.
How are you today?
I am doing wonderfully. It is Friday. That's not true, but when this comes out, it will be Friday.
Friday.
Alexia loves to say Friday.
TGIF.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the other acronym that I taught you? It's very similar.
No, but I remember that you told me this weekend.
I've been hearing this and seeing this a lot on the internet. DGAF.
Which is?
Don't give a...
Fuck.
I wasn't going to say that. Meu Deus. My dad listens to this podcast.
Hi, Jamie. I hope he listens to it.
I would prefer... my dad, I don't care, but I hope my mom doesn't.
DGIF, right? DGIF and TGIF. Okay.
No, DGAF. Don't give a fuck.
TGAF.
And thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't give a fuck. Thank God it's Friday. So today, Alexia, in yesterday's episode, we talked about our trip to Wilmington, North Carolina. It was lovely. Do you want to talk any more about Wilmington itself before we just talk about how much we love Chris Gether?
Yes, I was thinking about what we could say, tell people about Wilmington, because we only stay there, like truly stay there for one day.
We were there for a weekend.
Yeah. But we stay in an Airbnb, which we didn't touch the car at all. We walked around everywhere, which is amazing. I really miss this in any American city because, well, in Rio, São Paulo, you can get around with subway, with walking, whatever. You don't have to touch
Rio and São Paulo have no traffic problems.
No, amor. It's not that.
No, I agree. Most of you probably know that I hate driving. I think I have said it before.
He hates driving, but when I say to him, Amor, do you want me to drive? No.
Yeah, I get very anxious in the car because cars, if you think about them, are death machines that are going at very high velocities, super dangerous. So when I'm driving...
Such as airplanes.
Yeah, statistically, yeah, you're right. Statistically, the probability of you getting in a car crash is much, much higher than a plane crash. But as we recorded this, there were like 3 plane crashes this week, and yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah. Well, okay. So
Just
we
walk is my point. Walk everywhere.
we walked everywhere, which was amazing. We could really, really walk around downtown Wilmington, which is so lovely. You can find all the kinds of coffee shops and the bookstore. The bookstore was amazing.
One of my favorite bookstores in the world.
Actually, on Saturday, and there was a piano class inside of the bookstore.
Can I tell this story?
Of course.
Okay, so first of all, this bookstore is awesome. It is one of those bookstores that is kind of disorganized and it's bigger than you think. It looks like a small store and then just keeps continuing. And they have so many books. It's amazing. They had a little coffee shop that wasn't like a coffee shop, it was just the lady at the front desk could give you drinks if you wanted to.
Wine,
They
beer,
served
coffee.
wine, beer, and they have a grand piano in the bookstore.
What's a grand piano?
That is not correct. This would be what we call an upright piano. So a grand piano is one of those big pianos that you see on stage.
Okay.
And an upright piano is the one that you can like put against a wall,
Okay.
right?
Like a furniture.
Yeah. But on the weekends, they have a local musician. I believe his name was James Jarvis. No way that he's listening to this show. He seemed he was an older gentleman.
Yes, his cell phone shows it all.
Yes. Anyway, on the weekends, he plays piano and he also gives live piano lessons. So he was teaching this young girl, I would say maybe, I don't know, 12 or 13, 14.
No.
I'm really bad with ages.
No, 16, 17 years old.
Okay, an adolescent girl. They were having a piano lesson in the middle of the bookshop. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I just think that was awesome to not only have music, because everyone loves music, but also to see learning in the act, in the process. So when he finished that lesson, obviously I had to talk to him, and we talked for a long, long time,
1 hour.
approximately 1 hour. But everything that he said about, he was giving me tips on how to improve.
Because Foster, he can play lots of instruments, but he doesn't tell you guys here. And piano is one of his instruments because
No.
his mom used to play piano a lot and he could learn a little bit.
Okay, yeah. Long story short, my grandmother was actually an organist in her church. So my grandmother was fantastic, phenomenal at piano. My mother is also quite the pianist. She doesn't play as much nowadays, but I play guitar and some other stringed instruments, but I never formally learned piano. I can just kind of play from what I know from other instruments. And this guy was talking to me. I was asking him, like, hey, I can play guitar. How can I transfer this knowledge? And everything that he told me was a perfect analogy to learning language. I was like, should I learn sheet music? Do you know how to say sheet music?
Yeah. Is that paper that you put in front of the instrument when you're playing?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The piece of paper with the notes, I was like, hey, should I learn how to read sheet music if I really want to be good at the piano? And he was like, absolutely not. All you need are your hands, your fingers. You learn these notes and you start playing. And it was a perfect analogy for the way we approach language, learning like babies, not focusing on the rules, the formalities, but just focusing on the music itself. Anyway, we will record an entire episode about that, but that is not the point of this episode today.
Partitura.
Uh,
Partitura.
I thought I knew that.
Yeah, so sheet. No. Sheet music.
Sheet music.
Yeah, sheet music is partitura in Portuguese.
Yeah. So anyway, there's an amazing bookstore in Wilmington, and
We spent like not half of the afternoon, but it was really cold and windy outside, so we spent like 2 hours. Spent 2 hours inside. But also, you can visit the USS Wilmington, which is huge.
Battleship.
A World War II battleship.
Yeah.
Yes. And you can pay like $15 and go there and have a guide thing for 3 hours. So you have to be really into that. But we didn't do it, but a lot of people do it and they love it.
Yeah. Wilmington is a very, very interesting city if you are interested not only in history, but especially military history and especially in like the Marines and the Navy, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we saw a lot of Marines around.
Yeah.
Okay, so later that day at night, we had the second Chris Gethard's show.
Right. If you did not listen to the show yesterday, the reason we were in Wilmington in the first place was to see our favorite comedian, Chris Gethard. We talked to him after the show. We told him what we do, that we're podcasters. And I imagine he receives that a lot. And we were like, no, we are actually podcasters. That's what we do with our lives. And he was like, whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah, and he looked at me and said, "Isn't it the best job ever?" And I said, "Yeah."
We said yes, but like his kind of podcast is the best one ever.
Yeah, well, and then the Saturday show was like the crowd was more into it, I think.
Yeah, Saturday night, everyone was loving it. The openers were great. Chris killed it as usual.
And during the show, he did what?
He straight up called out Alexia and said, "Hey guys, we even have this crazy girl that came all the way from Brazil."
He didn't.
He didn't say crazy, but he said this lovely lady came from Brazil.
Couple.
Yeah.
He said he was talking about us. It wasn't only me.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And everyone in the entire club was looking at us and like applauding more or less, which was strange.
And he was like, apparently I have a huge fan base in Brazil. So I don't know if that's true. And after the show, he was apologizing to me like, I'm sorry that I did that joke. And I was like, no, don't be sorry. That's why we are here. I paid for that. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. So afterwards, after the show,
we were the last ones to talk to him.
Obviously, we're like, we have to talk to him again. He might think that we are really crazy people. Maybe it's a little creepy.
And because that, we were thinking that because before we entered the venue again, we saw him at Waffle House before the first show.
Mm-hmm.
And Foster was like, should we talk to him? And I was like, no, this will be so stalker. We shouldn't. Let's wait for the end of the show.
Yes, we saw him having dinner, and we should probably do an entire different episode about what Waffle House is, because that's an entirely different thing. Anyway, we were talking to Chris again. It was great. He is just as sweet and special in person. And one of the things I really wanted to talk to him about is his show, Beautiful Anonymous. He just accepts calls from anonymous callers, and then he talks to them for 1 hour. And he started doing this new thing. He's accepting calls from international countries, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's done one from Finland, Ireland, Denmark, Australia. I was like, hey, man, first of all, how do you do that? He's like, well, you have to buy this service. And it's going to, no, it's like, but you have to do Brazil. And he was like, all right. Do you think someone will call? We're like, yes. Well, you have so many fans in Brazil. We talk about you all the time. We love you.
And he was like, do you think someone will call for me after talking to you? And I was like, yeah, Chris, let me know afterwards. If no one is calling, you send me a message, then I'll call. No, don't worry. I'll be more than happy to be part of the Beautiful Anonymous podcast.
Yeah, yeah. So, two things. First, he was super sweet. He followed up with us and was like, hey guys, it was so great meeting you.
Yeah.
Just imagine for 1 second. Imagine, let's say, your favorite athlete or something like that. And then all of a sudden, they seem like one of your good friends. That's
Yeah.
what happened to us.
We have a hashtag in Portuguese that it's called gente como a gente.
Mm-hmm.
So a person just like
Yeah, normal
us.
person. Yeah.
Yes. And he's like that. He's super like you can reach to him, you know?
Yeah. We would say super down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's it. Our weekend was amazing. I'll never forget it. And I think it was a perfect weekend.
Yeah. There's actually one more thing that we need to add, that Chris took this a step farther. And
Without telling us.
today or yesterday, so a couple days after the show, he posted on Instagram,
Monday.
hey, I was informed that I have a lot of fans in Brazil. I don't know if this is true. Pretty much, he's saying these two crazy podcasters told me this. Is this true? And he was saying this on Instagram, and a lot of people were engaging with them, saying, come to Brazil. So if you are on Instagram listening to this, follow Chris Gethard and tell him to get his ass to Brazil.
Yes, and go now and start listening to Beautiful Anonymous because you get much better with your listening in English and also will know a lot of beautiful stories and very funny stories and get to know a little bit more of Chris.
Yes. And last but not least, if we can somehow manage it, we want to do something very similar where we can accept calls from anyone in Brazil and let you talk for, I don't know, 30 minutes, an hour, and just practice your English with us.
Yes, this is our master plan. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, if you think that would be cool, send us a message. And that's it. Have a great weekend. We love you guys.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Inglês no Rádio. If you like what we do, if you want to support the show, here's what you can do. Leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Android, wherever you listen to the podcast. It really helps other people discover the show. And you can sign up for our VIP newsletter. So each time we release new courses, early discounts for Sound School, new worksheets, special discounts, the people on our newsletter are the first to know. So if you are interested in the things we are doing, go to inglesnucru.com and sign up. And as always, keep up the good fight and lose well. Até já.